Alright, this is my 2000 Grand Cherokee. It's got a 2-inch lift on it already. I'm taking that off and we're going to put a 4-inch lift on there from Vari-Lok Off-Road. This is what the boxes look like, what they came like for me at least. You're going to want to go all through them and find your packing slip here. Come in here and grab this because this has all your checklist and contents in there. So let's go ahead and check everything off and make sure that all this stuff was shipped out before I start working on my vehicle. Alright, so we're looking at box 1 here. Got 4 springs in it, obviously. There was 2 separate boxes stapled and taped together is why I flipped it over. These ones are a bit skinnier and taller than these ones, so these are going to be the rears, these are going to be the fronts. See the difference there. Alright. That's box 1. Go ahead and check that off. So box 2 is the longer one. Duh. Alright, so I got all the parts out, went down the checklist, checked all of them off, made sure I have everything. Right here you got the adjustable track bar, the lower control arms. There's the mail-in adjustable track bar. There's the flex joints for the lower control arms. All the hardware, and all the bags are numbered, and it corresponds right here with the numbers. Like 1 is going to be this bag here. Number 2 is going to be the bag for your rear sway bar hardware kit. 3 is the bag for the shocks. 4 is the bag for the front sway bar hardware kit. Got your transfer case bracket here and the bolts for that one. Here's your A-arm spacer and the bolts for that. All the stuff is numbered, so just go through it, check it off. It was very easy. So let's go on to the next page and start prepping all the parts. And I opted for the Bilstein shocks. I have the same ones, but a different part number on there right now. It's for the 1 to 2 inch. These are for the 3 to 4 inch lifts, so I'm going to put these on there. They're a bit larger. I'll show you the difference when I take the other ones off. Really nice shock. Alright, just going down the checklist here. And part of it is making sure you have tools. So make sure you have jack stands, you got your jack, a breaker bar, measuring tape's important. You need basic hand tools. Don't need a lot of hand tools. That's plenty right here. You do need some anti-seize and some multi-purpose grease. Highly recommend getting some penetrating lube for those stubborn bolts and some brake clean just to clean up some areas that are dirty. Go ahead and use this impact wrench if you got one. They're pretty handy to have. And that's all the tools that we're probably going to need. Hopefully I don't need anything more. Not all toolboxes like this will have large enough sockets and wrenches to take apart the lower control arms, so make sure you have the proper stuff before you get too deep into it. Alright, let's get your track bar. That came with scratches on it already. Like, really, dude? Whatever. So, you have your track bar, your threaded metal end of it, and bag number 1. Let's go ahead and empty out bag number 1. Let's put this nut up on here. I'm going to jam it all the way up towards the top here. Should be good right around there. Let's go ahead and put a little bit of grease in here for my bushings. There we go. Grease up the bushings just a little bit. And it just pops right in. It's pretty easy. There we go. Install that sleeve. Get it nice and greased up. And it should just pop in there. It might take a little bit of force. There we go. Got the trash. Alright, so I'm just going to use this soft mallet here. Perfect. That'll tighten up the rest of the way once I get it on there. Side's looking good. Grease up the shaft right here. Get your pen greased up a bit. Some grease up on here. Push. Go. Okay, now that you got that on there, go ahead and wipe the excess grease off. That's nice and clean, ready to go. Wipe the excess grease off this guy here. There we go. Okay, now you're going to want to apply just a little bit of this anti-seize on this bolt here. Doesn't need a lot. Let's go ahead and put this end in here. Come on, thread. Come on. Because I was painted, it was a little difficult to get those threads started. Alright, after a little bit of convincing, I got it to thread on there. Okay, so to pre-adjust your track bar, you're going to go ahead and set it to 32.75 inches. So I need to adjust it way in more, almost all the way in it seems like. Alright, so I just went like that and tightened that up all the way. Just bringing this guy in farther. So that's all the way in right now. Go ahead and take a measurement. From center hole to center hole needs to be 32.75. So I actually take it out more now. Call that 32.75 center to center. It's about close as that's going to get. Just tighten this nut up just a little bit. Right there should be perfect. Doesn't have to be on there tight. The instructions say leave it loose. It's nice and clean. So the track bar is ready to go. Okay, now we're going to do the sway bars, starting with the rear. You need bag number 2. Go ahead and empty the contents, most contents of that bag out. Some of it will be going back, like these parts should go back in the bag. All those will go back in the bag. Save what bag it is. Set that off to the side for now. Okay, so there's 2 different size sleeves with these. They're the same height, but different thicknesses. This one's a little bit larger than this one, as you can see. So just line them up together, and you will see that these 2 are a little bit larger than these 2. So you're going to have them on opposite ends, like this. Go ahead and put that together. These are all the same, so that doesn't really matter. So let's grease it up and slap it in. Some grease up in here. Grease these bushings inside and out. That just pops right in there. Pretty easy. Grease this thing up. Slides in there really easily. Do the same for the other end. The front are the shorter ones here, and bag number 4. All the sleeves in bag number 4 are going to be the same size, so it doesn't matter on which end they go on. So empty that out, and here we go. Okay, to assemble the flex joints on the lower control arms, go ahead and take bag number 127. Set it over to the side and empty it out. Okay, so this is your thrust washers and your plastic races here. The race fits a particular way. You're going to want the ball on the inside, obviously. Let's go ahead and put a couple of screws through here just to hold it together. Apply just a little bit of grease inside here. Go. Put it in like this. Make sure you align the grooves in the plastic race with the grease fitting. Now I pushed it in there, it just slides in because there's a seat right here, so just seat it in there. Get a little bit of grease on your ball. Ball and shaft all greased up. There we go. Ball and shaft's all lubed. Set that in there. Put a little bit of grease here while your hands are dirty. Perfect. Set this side in here and try and line it up with the bolts that you have in there. Press it down with the ring here. It might be a tight fit, so you're going to have to use a hammer or something. If we have a really large socket or something to put on here, it would be nice. Just tap it in. There we go. Now, you got the threads poking through. You can start threading on the bolts. Okay, so these bolts, they barely fit on there. So what you're going to have to do is kind of hold it from one side and tighten it from the other. And that's going to lock itself against the side there and just keep tightening itself down. Perfect. So just get a thread or two on there. And then hold it and tighten it from the other side. There we go. And then do the rest of the bolts the same way. Okay, you can see they're all about flush. Let's go install this grease fitting on the top here. Put just a hair of anti-seize on that fitting. And tighten that down. There we go. Now I'm not going to tighten it super tight because you're going to want to aim it whichever way in the vehicle that you're going to have it to make it really easy accessible, so you can always grease it. So I'm going to leave it a little loose right now. And this side is done. Just got to torque it down to the proper torque. It wants it down to 70 pounds and then to 85 pounds. And then it says wait 5 minutes and retorque it to 85 pounds again. So let's go ahead and do the torque specs on that and get the other side done.